like AOC is almost this avatar of a lot of problems we see with the millennial generation. And so she's like very politically engaged in her 20s. She makes this upstart political bid. She was one of those first kind of celebrity young people to run for Congress, where we've gotten our own in the years since. And now she's entering that late 30s period, and she's becoming that avatar of waited too long, like perpetually pushing off family to the point where it starts to look a little delusional, like freezing your eggs at 37. As Peachy said, it's unlikely. And if you're going to do it at all, you should have done it when you were 21. Everything about this it's setting off the klaxon alarm.
All right, the great egg freezing debate has kicked off once again, thanks to our dear friend, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She is 36, a few weeks away, Blake, from turning 37. I just want everybody to realize if she had a baby like tomorrow, she's already considered a geriatric pregnancy, which comes with higher risks of multiple things to the mom and the child. But she's freezing her eggs, and she's doing social media videos to promote it. Saw 11.
Don't be weird about this. Even though I know all of you will be. Okay.
What is she doing?
That wasn't so bad.
That stood out to me so much there. She goes, don't be weird about this, even though I know all of you will be. You're the one.
Remember, Satan told Eve in the garden, you shall be like God, knowing good and evil. It's just wild that we think we are so smart. Like, why are we so smart that foregoing parenthood until we're in our 40s is smarter than how God designed us to do this? That's crazy work, y'all.
Making the video about this AOC. She is the one who has decided to live blog what strikes me as a pretty personal. I mean, it's weird to do videos about anything like that, in my opinion. And then she's doing that and then shaming anyone watching. Don't be weird about it. Okay, the easiest way to make this not be weird is just don't make a video about it. Don't put it online. Don't talk about it. She clearly wants people to be weird about it. She's thinking, I'm going to get so much engagement when people are weird about it.
Yeah, no, she's also obviously doing it for political reasons because she is a politician. They are very much talking about her as a potential 2028 candidate. Wow. We have the clip. I mean, this isn't hard, guys. SOT 12.
We're almost out of time to get to your future. I'm sure you saw the poll in New Hampshire that had you as the leading candidate, leading choice for Democrats.
Leading choice is crazy.
First, are you going to run for president?
I mean, I'm focused on winning the midterms. I'm running for Congress right now.
But I mean, do you see this as something? I know you said you're open to it. Is it a realistic possibility?
I haven't ruled out the possibility, and I'm very humbled to the tremendous amount of support out there. I think that we have a responsibility to remain focused on the midterms and not on our individual aspirations or plans.
And running for Senate against Chuck Schumer, is that also something that's possible?
I mean, I think that anything is possible at this juncture.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
I mean,
yeah. So this is obviously all a political play.
Well, it's just I find myself thinking like, okay, what is the thought process here? And it's a little sad to me. Like, is she doing all this because she actually just genuinely doesn't want to have kids? Because she could have at any point in the last decade easily married her boyfriend, had a kid, and then like, what's the calculus going on here? She'll run for president. She might think she'll win. She'll serve 2 terms as president, retire from being president, and then when she's 48 years old, take those eggs out of the bank, and like, that's time. Now I finished my career track. I can do the mommy track. This is what they call having it all. Is that the thought process going in here? I don't know. I don't like to shame anyone too much because like I'm not a parent myself, so I don't want to lecture about this. But everything about this feels very odd to me. And you're the dad, Andrew, so you can comment a bit more safely.
Yeah. It's very contrived. I mean, to your point, they've been engaged for 4 years. He had to convince her to get engaged as the first thing we should mention. And then, by the way, she is on public record saying, I didn't know if I wanted to get engaged to a white guy. I didn't know if that was my vibe. The guy, we have pictures of him here. His name is Riley Roberts. They've done Instagrams together talking about what is a white person he needs to do to confront racism and this kind of thing. So put the pictures up here. I put them in the chat. This is AOC's fiance. For 4 years they've been together. 4 years.
4 years they've been engaged. I think they've been together a lot longer than
college. Yeah, so they've been together a lot longer than that. Been engaged for 4 years, and they've known each other since college. But here's what's interesting. You can be together and not have kids. That's your choice. But if AOC's situation was I haven't found the right guy, I think a lot of people would have a lot more sort of sympathy for her. But she apparently has found the right guy that will parrot all the progressive talking points and will sort of be the beta male in her shadow. And that's really great for her. And yet she still is freezing her eggs at 36. And as PG Keenan, our friend, said, who was on our show and said this, it's kind of like starting a 401k in your 60s. Okay. Like, you should have done this a long time ago. So is this all just a very, very cynical political ploy? And I guess we just have to sort of assume yes, unfortunately. So, but there's so many issues behind this. And I'll play one more clip from her. This is her talking about motherhood in tears. And then we're going to get into the cultural ramifications of this. SOT 9.
We don't have to project 1 minute into our future to see that the climate crisis is already here. On this note, I speak to you not as an elected official or public figure, but I speak to you as a human being. A woman whose dreams of motherhood now taste bittersweet because of what I know about our children's future. And that our actions are responsible for bringing their most dire possibilities into focus.
That's wild.
It's as you say, I feel like it's gotta be a political play. Her dreams of motherhood. Again, you have a guy, you could marry him, you could have kids with him. Nothing is stopping that dream. We know she's economically pretty well off at this point. We know all the pieces are there. So if she doesn't have kids at this point, she just represents, she doesn't really want to have them. And I guess, as you say, it feels very cynical at this point.
I think this is what they call doomer philosophy, that the world is so terrible that you almost, effectively, AOC is saying that we don't need to go any further in the human experience because our future is so dire. Like, there's no possibility. There's no upturn. There's no upswing. There's nothing good. Like, that's crazy work. And that just completely removes the sovereignty of God out of the equation. So man is sovereign. Man is the end of all, which is crazy.
It's like she's exploiting it. But the thought also comes to me, I feel like we're living out, how to put this, like AOC is almost this avatar of a lot of problems we see with the millennial generation. And so she's like very politically engaged in her 20s. She makes this upstart political bid. She was one of those first kind of celebrity young people to run for Congress, where we've gotten our own in the years since. And now she's entering that late 30s period, and she's becoming that avatar of waited too long, like perpetually pushing off family to the point where it starts to look a little delusional, like freezing your eggs at 37. As Peachy said, it's unlikely. And if you're going to do it at all, you should have done it when you were 21. Everything about this it's setting off the klaxon alarm. Like, something is very wrong here. I don't like it.
Well, I believe that AOC is basically just an actress. So I believe that the tears are contrived. I'm reminded of her visit to the border during Trump 1.0, and she's crying and all white. Everything about her is contrived, actually. She's a very good actress. It's hard to see it, but once you see it, you kind of can't unsee it. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I have so many thoughts. To your point, freezing your eggs at 36, almost 37 is probably not going to work. It's a whole scam. Okay. This is the scam that employers.
Those eggs were already, and shout out to anyone who's frozen eggs, had in vitro fertilization, or had problems having children. But at 37, freezing eggs is that's a dice roll right there. I didn't realize that she's freezing the eggs at 37, not she had already frozen eggs. I misinterpreted what they were saying. Yeah, that's a dice roll already to do that at 37, which is crazy work. So let's go.
Push upon middle management, women, so they don't take maternity leave, right? Freeze your eggs. It's going to be okay. Just keep working. Keep making us money. Okay, so that's one. Two, if you really think about the message this is sending to the culture, it's the actual opposite of what we should be saying. If you are a woman who wants to have kids, and I believe all women, I pray for them that they get to enjoy that blessing. Some are infertile, some have issues, other issues, some cannot find the right guy, whatever. I have sympathy for all of those positions, genuinely. And I understand that what's kind of going on politically and culturally is that men and women find themselves diametrically opposed on expectations, on values, on politics. So it is fraught out there. And my heart goes out to people that are struggling to find a mate, but she has one. She has been with him for a long time.
Right.
They could just, make this happen the natural way tomorrow, but she refuses because my career is so important. That is the exact opposite way to frame this. And I think Charlie did a great job on this. And I always love the opportunities to talk about what Charlie thought about these issues. SOT 13.
Children is more important than having a good career. I have 2 kids. I also have an amazingly blessed career. Our podcast is doing great, but my kids matter way more than how many social media followers that I have. And I would also tell young ladies, you can always go back to your career later, that there is a window where you primarily should pursue marriage and having children. And that is a beautiful thing. This is not about shaming. It's not about ridiculing. It's not about moralizing. It's about lifting up what is beautiful. And by the way, when we look at the mental health data, young women are not okay. That is right. Half of liberal white women say that they have some form of mental health issue that has been diagnosed by a doctor. What is the number one thing that mental health professionals will tell you when it comes to mental health issues? Loneliness does not help. So maybe we should solve the loneliness epidemic by encouraging young ladies to get married and have children. It's good for them. It's good for America, and it's good for our future.
The more
That's exactly right.
Charlie nailed it 100%. And I'm thinking this out as we go through this segment, and I'm getting more and more bothered by what she's doing when Charlie was mentioning the mental health stats and all of that. And what's occurring to me is I think there are a lot of women out there who genuinely want to have kids, but they're beaten about by the winds of life in different ways, and they're not sure what they do feel they need to establish their career. They do kind of, it is easy for them to push it back. I'll be ready in another year, maybe another couple years. I need this promotion. I need that salary threshold. We need the down payment. It's very easy. And I think AOC is not one of those people. I think AOC is a woman who, she enjoys being a celebrity. She's streaming stuff on Twitch. You might remember she's the one who made, I think she helped to make Among Us popular, that game. She's loved to put herself out in the public eye. She loves getting engagement. She knows this is the sort of thing that can get her engagement. I think that is probably running in her head. And yet deep down, I suspect she just doesn't want to have kids. I think there's a bunch of things she would rather do than embark on motherhood. It would hinder her political goals, her celebrity goals, her dream of possibly becoming president. Kid gets in the way of that, but she's willing to exploit this topic. And the reason it feels sinister to me is because she is sending that out to people for whom this is a real issue, that they really are weighing, oh, can I freeze my eggs and delay motherhood a lot later once I've got it all figured out? She is sending a false message to these girls. And for anyone who listens to that, a very large share of them, it's going to end badly. It's going to end with them having no kids. And I think they'll strongly regret it.
Well, I think this is all cynical. I completely agree with what you just said. The more you examine her particular situation, the more you realize how cynical it is. And here's what we know. She's already making the insurance angle claim, right? She's already using this to go after private health insurance, i.e. Medicare for all. That's what she wants. SOT 10.
My insurance does not cover one penny of this. It is 100% out of pocket. It doesn't go to my deductible, nothing. It covers nothing. There is so much negative messaging that is directed towards women around our family choices, period. Kind of no matter what choice you make, if you have kids, when you have kids, whatever, there's so much negativity. And it is designed to dysregulate women, to put us in a place of fear or insecurity so that we are making choices out of that place. Don't trust these people who are writing abortion laws that don't even understand the first thing about a woman's body, tell you about how many eggs you have at what age. They don't even understand about egg health or anything.
Okay. By the way, you know how they always say you're not allowed to have an opinion about abortion if you're a man? It's like, I'm sorry. I have a wife. I understand a lot actually about the way a woman's body works and the way the fertility rates work. And increasingly, this is, in our modern day and age, when we're not all agrarian farmers or whatever, having children is a choice. You have to have a.
I do wonder. Okay, just to cut Andrew off for a second. Sorry, Andrew. Just to cut it off. Fine. What gives AOC the ability to speak authoritatively on this matter? She doesn't have children. Does she understand egg health? Explain it to us. Like we're 5-year-olds. Go ahead and break it down, AOC. We're listening. No, she can't either. No, we have an opinion as men. We have a perspective. We're the fathers, for crying out loud. You're not going to have kids apart from us. So, let's stop with the dumb stuff. But, I said let's stop with the dumb stuff when we're talking about AOC. All right, let's go.
Value system, and more often than not, that's rooted in your faith. This is why Jews in Israel are like one of the few people groups on planet Earth that are reproducing themselves. Same with Christian evangelicals in the United States. We're above replacement once you aggregate us into the midst of larger culture. Yeah, our fertility rate is like 1.6, but Christians themselves are above replacement. You have to have a value system. Look at this, 138. This is it shows that the Trump vote share versus total fertility rates. The higher you go up on fertility rates, guess what? Oh, that's right. You start voting conservative. So that's an interesting thing to keep in mind, right? If you look at fertility rates in the country, 139, you can see it on a map. By the way, your Dakotas are doing pretty good here.
Of course,
Blake,
Dakota's crushing it.
Not bad. Yeah. So basically anywhere that votes Trump is doing pretty good or is at least leading the curve on the fertility rate issue.
Wow.
Key patterns, highest fertility rates
made y'all look
concentrated in the plains, upper Midwest, parts of the South. Basically, the SEC schools are doing great. Lower fertility rates concentrated in coastal, urbanized Northeast and West Coast states. South Dakota stands out as the only state near replacement level fertility on this provisional map. They're not even at replacement. You got to get to 2.1 apparently.
The future is going to belong to the people who show up for it. And I think people who follow AOC, they're not showing up for the future. So far, I'm not showing up for the future either, but I at least, my extended family is picking up the slack so far, which I'm very grateful to them for. And, but of course, always have to throw out the thing. Remember, AOC, she does have a lot of followers. She does have a lot of influence. And that is how the left compensates for this. They don't personally show up for the future. They don't have the kids, but they're happy to try to take yours.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right.
Shout out to Blake and Andrew. That was a very informative insight. And I also appreciate what Charlie had to say about young women going out there and get married and have children early. You can always put off your career. You can't always put off having a family. So let me know what you think. Comment down below. Hey, if you stayed all the way to the end, give me an emoji for however many children you have down in the comments, or grandchildren down in the comments. I really want to see it. So until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment, because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.